Hello and welcome to this new live session where I'm trying to learn Rive on the fly live. So today I'll be diving once again inside of the ViewModels. Okay, so last time, so we've been following this tutorial for quite some time. This is the Rive 101 tutorial. All the videos I'm referencing in this live are linked in the description, so you can easily find the links. And yeah, it's been a long journey. And last time we did input data in this little area where the details on each motorbike live through something called the ViewModel. And at first, I didn't really pay attention because for me, ViewModel was just a term that I never really heard of. Already starting to be annoying. Okay, now I can zoom in. Yeah, and so we have the ViewModel that lives here, and it allows us to bring various data from different sources. And so if I remember correctly, yeah, so for each, so right now I'm looking at the blue bike, but if I change, so the point here is to say that the view models allow to bring data to show different states of the layout at any point. What I didn't know at that time, and that I realized by watching this video of Theo, is that the view model is actually quite an old concept, because in this video he is referencing an even older video. I think this is 200, no, it's 2005. And in this video, the guy is already referencing the view model. So clearly this is something that is very old in the web dev, that is very old in the web dev world that I didn't know about because this is not my realm. But this prompted me to prompt my own AI to do some research about that, because I wanted to dig a little deeper before we dive back in the tutorial. And also we have two, and so I did some research. I will go over it quickly with you if you don't mind, because I think it can be quite interesting before we dive back inside of this tutorial. Right after we watch another video about view models that Rive published on their own website, see if we understood correctly. And after that, we will watch the list index video. It's a pretty short one, but because last time the next chapter of this tutorial was supposed to be the lists for the helmets. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at the research. And so yeah, this is the one I want to go over. So when, okay, I took this After Effects audience explanation because actually this is an explanation for me, so I don't know exactly who my audience is, or even if, and yeah, so it basically says that we have data and that the view model is some kind of spreadsheet that allows for the data to be shaped correctly to go inside of the composition. So it's some kind of sanitization layer, I would say, between the data source and the UI. So yeah, I think this is basically what I understood so far, and why it matters. So yeah, it explains that it matters because if you have like loose rules about how incoming data is handled, you quickly have a big mess. big mess, and you don't want that because you are supposed to handle a lot of data. Unlike in After Effects, where each comp is very predictable and only has one state, the whole point of Rive is to be able to make a lot of data come in and then have the UI, the composition, the animation react to that data automatically. And yeah, I can understand why view models are necessary for such operations. And so the second question I was wanting to ask to the LLM is that we often see terms that have a particular meaning in some context, but are used in other contexts, and the meaning slowly drifts until it's not meaning the same thing after all. So I asked the AI if the Rive implementation of ViewModel, how much it drifted from the original concept, and apparently it's not drifting at all. It's like very, very close. Rive didn't reinvent or distort model view model. It copied faithfully and then put it inside of a visual design tool. So apparently they just expanded it a little bit. I think there's another type of data that's allowed. One real difference. Binder is a framework level feature. Rive made the binder part of the design tool itself, which is genuinely new. So I think we indeed do some binding last time. So Rive do own the binding. So yeah, but I mean, if Rive is new, Rive can totally own the binding, and it shouldn't be much of a revolution, because since it's okay, I'm losing myself. What I want to say is that if the binding must be done at some point, it's not really a surprise that when the technology evolves, new actors might come in and decide that the binding is now they own the binding, and that's apparently exactly what Rive did. And I read something else that was interesting. What Rive simplified: no explicit model layer. Rive doesn't define where the data comes from. The model is whatever the developer provides. Okay. No command platform, include command button triggering action. Rive uses the state machine listener and event instead. Different mechanisms, same purpose. I think I read that there was one type of data that was new, but maybe I misread or remember it from somewhere else. Anyways, I think that's enough talking, and now we should move to the video instead. So let me just quickly move that over there. Go here and select the ViewModel properties. So this one, oh no, this one is quite short. It's the list one that is much longer. It's 10 minutes. Okay, so let's
Hello, I'm Ross, I work at Rive, and today I'm going to be talking about some updates we've made to the Rive editor. As you probably know, Rive has a state machine. And up until this point, you could only control the state machine using state machine inputs. However, our new feature called data binding allows you to do a whole lot more. You still have numbers, booleans, and triggers, but you can now control the state machine using strings, colors, and enums. We also have converters that allow...
So apparently this is not that new. Yeah, 11 months ago. And in the video we are watching, the quick start tutorial must have been put online after. Yeah, it's 3 months old. So actually this is older information, so I don't think it's really useful to watch
you
it.
to control and
But
change.
maybe we can just try to solidify our understanding of what the view model is, because it's supposed to be a video about view models, but right now I've heard of bindings and nothing for view models yet. So
change values into other values. And we also have strings, colors, and enums. We also have converters that allow you to control and change values into other values. And we also have instances that allow you to create multiple versions of the same artboard with different properties. As a quick example, if I wanted to transition between idle and run, I would set up 2 transitions, give them a duration, and then I would go up to my artboard. I go over here and click plus to create a new view model. And then I go over here and click plus number, and I'll call this number property num. And so just like before, I can go down here, highlight the transitions, and say if num is equal to 1, then transition in this direction, or if it's equal to 0, transition in this direction. So I can change this property here, and back again. It's exactly the same, except that data binding gives you so many more options to use. We are encouraging users to make the switch from using state machine inputs to using ViewModel properties for a much higher level of control over your Rive files. Check out our data binding tutorials playlist on Rive's YouTube channel.
okay, so I don't really think that I know what the state machine
Options to use. We are encouraging users to make the switch from using state machine inputs.
State machine inputs. Yeah. Both concepts that are pretty unclear to me, so it's not easy to discriminate what's the difference and why one is better than the other. Okay, so let's quickly go over this one. So I think I saw the mouse in this one too, so
In a previous tutorial, we talked about lists. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper and talk about the list index ViewModel property.
So view models are back. List index ViewModel property. List index ViewModel property. To me, an index is just an integer. So
what it is, and some interesting things that you can do with it. As a quick recap of how to make a list, here I have a component. It's very simple, it's just a hover and unhover interaction with a little bit of audio. Now let's say I want to use 4 different versions of this component in a list. The first thing we need to do is go to its view model, then over to its instances panel, into the settings, and create 3 more instances.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that this will be very redundant with the follow-up with the helmets. So we might just as well go back to the helmets, and I'll watch that on my own time, and if there is indeed something very different, I'll be sure to let you know, but I don't think there will.
To using ViewModel properties for a much higher level of control.
Okay, so this is not this one. Yeah.
Our menu art.
No, this is not where we're at. This is.
And finally, description. Well, it looks like my description might be a little bit too long, so I'll just...
Okay, so I think I might have gone a little too far.
Reduce the font size a little.
So here's on the helmet component. Okay, so I absolutely don't have the same thing as it does, so let's rewind a tiny bit.
And go over to the interpolation graph and change it to start off fast and slow down.
This we did.
And this is what that looks like. So they're all moving at the same time. So what we can do now is highlight these and offset them. So hold down Alt or Option and then tab period. I'll do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do the same rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we can like this. Finally, we need to make the background color. So how you call it, and where the background color needs to go back into design mode. So tab. Here's down here. When you add a feather now. We're not actually using the feather effect, so we don't need to mouse down to 0. The thing we are using is the Y position. So we place. Also, okay, we're now using the list feature in Rive. So these 4 different items. Now the first thing we need to do is go into our item component and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. So I'm now going to
data bind its various
elements to ViewModel properties. So
data bind its various
I'm now going to
elements
and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. So
to ViewModel properties. Okay.
I'm now going to show the text description. In to do to into our item properties. So I'm now going to show the text description, item component, and data bind its various. We need to do is go into our item component and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. So I'm now
what we need to do is go inside of our component and data bind its various property to oh my god, I'm not even able to remember one complete sentence. What a shame.
now
Let's
going
say
to
again.
data bind its. Now the first thing we need to do is go into our item component and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. So I'm
Whoa. And data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. What we need to do is go inside of our component and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties. I won't rest until I own every word of this freaking sentence.
now going to items. Now the first thing we need to do is go into our item component and data bind its various elements to ViewModel properties.
Okay, it's basically the same.
So I'm now going to show the text description. Then I'm going to give the item component its own ViewModel. Go into
So I'm lacking the description and it's nowhere to be seen because it's here. Okay. Okay, so my description is absolutely not in the same state as his, so this is a little annoying.
to our data panel, and I'll call this item ViewModel.
Okay, so
Now
I need
our data
to
panel
have the same hierarchy as it does. Ooh, annoying. Okay. Here I am. The only difference I think is that my background is not red, which doesn't matter much, but text layout, text. Yeah, this is probably the one. No. Okay, it's the row. So it's reddish. So what I'm not sure I get is why the background of, oh, it's because I'm moving this instead of the artboard. Yeah. Okay. So now everything lines up. Probably I have broken some relationships between the hug and the feel and everything. But let's roll with that for the moment. So he said that we need to bind data on the item, and it was at that level, I think. Let's rewind.
This elements is go into our item component. So I'm now going to show the text description. Then I'm going to give the item component its own view model. Go into our data panel. And I'll call this item view model. Now I'm going to give it 4 view model properties, an image view model property and 3 strings.
Okay, so you are item view model. So if we keep thinking about the fact, if we keep the metaphor of the spreadsheet, that means we are simply creating a spreadsheet with image, string, string, string. Yeah, okay. So that means we need to add properties. It's like rows in our spreadsheet. I said image and 3 strings. Okay. Why does it have a yellow? Should use Pascal case. What? I thought it was named camel case. And it was last week. Probably the update changed it. ViewModel should use Pascal case. Okay. Oh, it's because I don't have the capital letter at first. Are you happy now? Yes. Okay, so this yellow dot is a kind of warning. Weird. Anyways.
So, image, I'll call this helmet. And 1, 2, 3 strings. Name, class, and description. If you select your view model, you can see all 4.
Oh, I have space. Name, class, and description.
Of your view model properties over here. And I'm now going to create all 4 of your view model properties over here. And I'm now going to create 3 more instances. 1, 2, 3. And just like before, each of these instances can have their own unique view model property values.
So, in this case, an instance is a set of data. The view model is the shape of the data or data. I think you said data in English. So the view model is the shape of the data, and the instances is the actual data, if I'm following correctly.
For the first one, I'll select the helmet black. For the second one, I'll select helmet blue.
Okay, let's create the instances. All instances, description, initial value. What? Oh, I think this is something new, and this is an actual spreadsheet, and probably we can feel. Okay, so this creates instances, expand properties. Oh, nice. So that means, okay, so I can feel it here, and it seems that it's way easier to do
Third
it
one,
like that.
helmet green. And for the fourth one, helmet white.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I don't care what, or do I care? Because the different motorbikes might have different helmets that are linked to them. And that means I need to know which motorbike is which. Annoying. Annoying that I didn't take notes or something that would allow me to know that easily. But let's just quickly check that. So now I'm reading. Okay, so this is the thing I need to find, is where the freak where is the freaking switcher? I don't remember. State machine 1. Clear console. Okay, so I have opened that, but I don't know how. Okay. There was some kind of little thing. Oops. A little thing with the conditions in here. Layer 2, no. I forgot what layer are. State machine. Index name. This is the thing. So 2 is the blue one. Okay. I will take a piece of paper to do my notes. Two is blue. So index 0 is the yellow-green one. Index 1 is the black one, and therefore the white one is number 3. Okay. So now we can assign our helmets accordingly. And for that, we need to go back here on the helmet component. I'm talking to you, helmet component. Yeah. And item ViewModel. Oh, this is weird that it collapsed, but okay, why not? So we have default is the green, then black. Okay, so it's not bike, it's helmet, green, then helmet black, then helmet blue, and finally helmet white. No, helmet, Fred, not bike.
For now, I'm going to keep the names simple. So I'll set the first one to black, class 1, and I'll set the description to something that I just get from GPT.
Okay. Okay. Name green, name black. He was using all caps. I don't know how to type. Sorry about that. Blue and white. All right, class. Was he using all caps for that too? Yes, he was. Class. Okay, so I will keep having a class 0, even if it doesn't make any sense for a website, but and descriptions. Honestly, anyone who thinks that this color is green really should have their eyes checked. Yes, indeed. Whisperflow is not working in Rive. We've seen that some time ago. No description for you too ugly. This is how it's supposed to look, baby. I should really hand over that task to AI. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I forgot my toupee. That's sorry. I forgot how. Yeah, how to put it. Okay, never mind. That's enough. We filled our
Blue
instances much quickly because we had the nice spreadsheet that I suppose he didn't have at the moment of recording this
Awesome.
video.
We have 4 different instances, each of them with their own unique ViewModel property values. Now, let's bind each of these layers to their respective ViewModel properties. So
let's bind each of these layers to their respective ViewModel properties. Let's bind each of these layers to their respective ViewModel properties. Layer. Okay, so we have a new contender and his name is layers. Did we hear about layers before that? Probably, but I don't
we're going
remember.
to each of unique ViewModel property values. Now, let's bind each of these layers to their respective ViewModel.
Yes, so layers in the Photoshop sense.
Properties.
This I don't get. Why do we need to bind? Oh, yeah, okay, because right now there are no bindings. So we have a spreadsheet. We have data inside of the spreadsheet, but the data is not assigned to something in our composition. That's what it means. Right. Hey, this spreadsheet analogy is quite useful, actually.
So go into your hierarchy, and we'll start with the image. Now, with your image selected, you can go over here to Image, right-click, Data Bind, and then select the property, and that will be the Helmet Image ViewModel property.
Helmet. So let's go back to the stage. It was right-click. No. What was it? Oh, yes, it was definitely this one.
Next, select and that hierarchy, and we'll start with the image. Now, with your image selected, you can go over here to Image, right-click, Data Bind, and then select the property, and that will
Oh, we need to be in animate. No, we don't need to be in animate. I'm confused.
be the image, right-click, Image. Now, with your image selected, you can go over here to Image, right-click.
Okay, so this little thing means that data has been bound. So what I remember I was asking myself, what the fuck does that mean last time? So this is about data binding. This is not really super explicit because you really have to know that you need to right click over here to do the data binding. Otherwise, you're screwed. I don't like that, but at least we found it. But if I'm not with the tutorial and I haven't touched Rive for a few weeks, which is probably something that might happen for a lot of people that try to learn Rive but are not full-time on Rive, this is dangerous. You can completely forget that this is how it's supposed to be done. And yeah, it's really not explicit enough in my opinion. Anyways, so we take the helmet and we don't need to convert it, I don't think. Obviously, no, we don't
Data
need.
bind, and then select the property, and that will be the helmet image ViewModel property. Next, select this text, open.
Okay, so the data binding is indeed active and we can see it right away if we toggle that button. I don't remember what the name was, but okay, so let's bind the other friends. Funnily, I don't really see where I'm supposed to bind once again. Oh, but I think that for text it was a bit different.
Open its text, run.
Yeah, run.
Right-click, data bind, and
so this is kind of mysterious to what the text run means. It's probably something pre-existing as well, so I might need to do some research about it. What is a text run in web design? So I don't like the fact that everybody's purple. Okay, go back to the tutorial. Oh yeah, let's go to the run. And now we have to right click once again, but like it was the name property. Now let's select that. So this time when you do the control click thing, you actually do select the text, but you cannot go as far as the run, which is inconsistent with the rest of the control clicking experience to select nested elements. But I must say that watching this tutorial has been really helpful in that regard because I didn't know that this was a button. And I tried it in Affinity and it works there too. And this is very convenient. So thanks, Rive, and thanks, guy who made this tutorial, for teaching me a pattern that is really handy and that I didn't know about. So this one is glass. And this one is whatever I named it. I don't remember. description. Okay.
Take in the name. Now the item class, text run, data bind, class, and finally description. Well, it looks like my description might be a little bit too long, so I'll just reduce the font size a little bit. I'm once again going to select the description and hide it, and then.
So the nice thing is that with this operation, it does that across the board. Each instance will have its font size reduced.
Resize the component, and we're going to get this set up as a.
Okay, so let's go back to
select the description and hide it, and then resize the component, and we're going to get this set up as a list.
Okay, so let's go back to hiding this.
So what we need to do, and we're going to get this set up as,
because hiding
and resize.
I remember that hiding in the layer list was not the same as hiding in the properties, but I don't remember exactly how it mattered.
Component, and we're going to get this set up as, and then resize. Select the description.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is that HR hell for me, because I want to do the has, his, the H's, but it's so unnatural to me that I tend to now put H's where they don't belong. Anyways, so our host is always hiding on the property panel, and I don't think I saw him do it there. So there is probably a good reason for that, and we should follow his lead. So let's select that and hide it here. And after that, I think this is the item that he resized. If it's not,
and hide it,
we'll correct that.
And then resize the component.
Okay, so I think I can tell that since the PNG background has been cropped, it means that the item column, what's the name? Not component, what's the item column layout is probably in fill mode, and on mine, it's probably not. Yes. Hug. Huh. So maybe it's item that it. Okay, so probably still unclear for me. Fill. Fixed. So you should be hug. No. Crap. I'm back to that square where I don't know why the heck it's not resizing properly. So now if I would I be so lucky?
And we're going to get this set up as a list. So what we need to do is go to our main setup and then resize the component and hide it, and then resize the component, and we're going to get this set up as a list. So what we need to do, and hide it, and then resize the component, and we're going to get this set up as a list.
This is annoying. Okay, let's see if I can follow with the list part, with that part broken. Or do I lose time and credibility trying to find it again live? Tough question. Fill. And you are fixed. If I remember. What? Okay, so oh, maybe I was. No. You know what? I'm quite uncomfortable not being sure that I have the same setup as he has, but let's move on. And if it comes bite us in the ass, we'll fix it.
So what we need to do is go to our menu again, data panel, the menu view model, and give it a list property to work with. And I call this list property items. Over in the inspector, we can add list items. I'm going to add 4. Go into the first one. You can see that it's actually already taking the correct instance from the item view model. Now in the second.
Okay, so this view model property looks like it is one layer above the previous one. Maybe because I think in the ViewModel drift document, it says that one new thing that, yes, Rive added is nesting. I'm not sure this is an preview. What was that? Yeah. So nesting VMs inside of VM. I'm not sure this qualifies as nesting, but this definitely is a property that handles property. It would be like, yeah, it's some kind of nesting, I think, but I'm not sure this is exactly what the AI was referring to when it said nesting. Anyways, we were supposed to create a new view model property inside of here. So data. Okay, so we have data only when we. Aha, this was strange. Okay, this is probably a bug. We didn't have data at first, and we clicked animate back and forth, and data appeared. So new type of data, and we are asking for a list. How does it appear in here? It doesn't. Huh. This is the list, a list of instances. So probably a list is a property type that is some kind of meta property. It maybe cannot live on an instance because that's not what it is supposed to do. List item. Okay, so I've listed items, except that no, it remembers. Oh no, okay. Instance. Okay, instance. So did you link the instances? No, you have to link. So I think this kind of thing could be handled in a smart way by Rive directly, probably, instead of having us relink to the correct. If we have a list of growing numbers, it shouldn't be that hard to auto-populate this, but...
Second one, let's take instance 2, instance 3, and instance 4. That list is all set up now, And all we have to do is create an artboard list to replace this column. So going to your hierarchy, I'm going to locate this column in the hierarchy. Here it is. And I'm going to delete all of its children so that we now have an empty layout, and then go over to the right to its inspector to where it says Layout Children and click plus. There you will find the artboard list. And you can now see it in the hierarchy. And we now need to select the list property that this artboard list.
Wow, I'm so confused. I really don't see how he says that like it's very logical to do that, but actually it seems pretty crazy that you need to erase everything and
is going to use. And that
let's go back.
An artboard list, instance 3, the correct instance from the item view model. Now in the second one, let's take instance 2. Artboard list, that list is all set, and instance 4. That list is all set up now, and all we have to do.
So the list is set up, but what the heck is a list? And
is create an artboard list to replace.
And an artboard list. So far, a list is a ViewModel property. And okay, it holds various instances of a component. So it probably makes sense that it can be in itself a component, and probably an artboard list is that it's the visual representation of the property that is the ViewModel list. I don't know. It seems
this column. So going to your hierarchy.
What does it seem? It seems possible, but also not very clear for me.
I'm going to locate this column in the hierarchy. Here it is. And I'm going to delete all of its children so that we now have an empty layout, and then go over to the right to its inspector.
Yes, anyways, this was a placeholder all along, so where are you called items? Yeah, that's normal. Okay, so now you're empty. Layout children. Artboard list.
To where it says Layout Children and click plus. There you will find the artboard list. And you can now see it in the hierarchy. And we now need to select the list property that this artboard list is going to use. And that list.
Yes, that was the whole point actually. So of this part of the tutorial. So I shouldn't have been so surprised.
Property was called items. And you can see that here. Now the
That's ViewModel, menu, ViewModel. It was called menu. I'm confused. Oh. We created the list property inside of the menu ViewModel. Right. It's not in the item ViewModel. So this belongs in menu. And it's like, yeah, I think it's definitely a nested ViewModel because it's a ViewModel in another composition, or rather artboard, that calls in ViewModels from another artboard. Is that right? I don't know. Okay.
The artboard list has a parent layout, and this is where we're able to change the vertical gap in between its children. So why are we using a list instead of just having 4 individual components, each bound to a different instance, just like we did with the stats component? Well,
because that allows us to have only one, what would be the word? Because instead of having 4 components, with that we only have one, and if we edit something inside of the components, each item gets the edit. I think that is the reason.
Lists are interesting. Let's say if I change the logic of this item to get bigger when I click it, and it gets bigger vertically, that would actually push down all of the other elements in the list. So let's implement that logic in our item now. For the item component, I want to have 2 interactions. I want a hover and unhover interaction, and I want a click interaction. When we hover, I want the whole component to move to the right and will animate its opacity. Then when I unhover, I want the component to move back and the opacity to return to normal. When I click, I want the size of the component itself to get much bigger and for us to show the text description. And when I click on a different instance of this item, I want the text description to disappear and the size to return to normal. So to do this, we're going to need 3 timelines. Call the first one unhover, the second one hover, and the third one click. In unhover,
okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. And click.
we're first going to set the size of the component itself, then highlight item column, and we're going to set a keyframe for the left-hand side. We're also going to set a keyframe for the background color. And finally, we're going to set an unhover. We're first going to set the size of the component itself,
Size. I don't remember what he said.
Then highlight item column, and we're going to
item column. So now I can see what he has, and it's fixed. Okay. Do I have that? No. Fixed hug. But he is 100, 100. So I'll do that too. Wow, weird. Why do I have keyframes? This is what I keyframed.
set the second one hover, and the third one click. In unhover, we're first going to set the size of the component itself.
Oh, so we are supposed to work in unhover. So let's rename quickly. I don't understand why my or is it because I'm confused. Let's remove keyframes. Did it remove keyframes? Apparently. So now what do we have here? So must I create keyframes if the parent does have keyframe and I want to change a parameter? That means I'm creating keyframes. So that probably means that I should do the modification not in animation, but in design.
Then highlight item column, and we're going to set a keyframe for the left-hand side. We're also going to set a keyframe for the background color. Item column, click.
Sorry, it's a
in
bit
Unhover,
annoying,
we're first going to set the size of the component itself. Then highlight item column, and we're going to set a keyframe for the left-hand side.
Fixed.
We're in column, and we're going to set a keyframe. Hover, we're first going to set the size of the component itself.
424, 147. Oh, this is okay. Okay, it's the same size now. It's 100. This really puzzles me because he has 100.
Then highlight item column,
absolutely,
and we're going to
doesn't
set
look
a
like that. It's absolute. I'm absolute too. Why is it 0? And I have 1. Okay, let's accept that I don't understand what the fuck is different and move on. So this is where we have a keyframe tool.
Keyframe for the left-hand side. We're also going to set a keyframe
left-hand side
for the background color.
And keyframe for the background color. Yeah, but it's annoying because oh, it's in percent. That's probably the problem. I didn't move to percent. And as we've seen the other time, percent was allowing us to cheat fill somehow. Okay, so let's go back to design. This one. Fixed. Okay, good. It was really annoying. And now I think I get it. So, yes, but I still lost my, yeah, okay, so I have to redo everything here. So this is fixed and it's 100% not. But we don't have a keyframe. We have a keyframe here. We have a keyframe on the background. And what was the last thing?
And finally, we are going to set a keyframe for the text description.
Yes.
We're going to keep it hidden. Next, go in.
This is the one, yeah. So now Huh. Okay, 100% hug works, but he's not in hug. Huh. Never mind. Oops. Oh, maybe this is how.
Into your hover description. We're also going to set a keyframe for the background color. And finally, we are going to set a keyframe for the text description. We're going to keep it.
So it's fill position constrained by parents. Fill. Huh. No. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. We'll debug that later.
Pit hidden. Next, go into your hover state, and we're going to set keyframes for the exact same properties, but for some of them, we're going to give slightly different values. So for instance, the size of the component is going to stay the same. Then select item column, and we're going to change this keyframe value. And also, we're going to change the opacity of the back. Change this keyframe stay the same. Then select item.
So we need keyframes, probably because if we don't have keyframes on both sides of the transition, it cannot handle it. Because he really did put keyframes that are not modified. So this is why I'm asking. But anyways, let's redo the thing.
Column, and we're going to change this keyframe value. And also, we're going to change the opacity of the background to 10. And we're going to keep the text description hidden. Then in your click state, we will change the size of the component so it's wider and taller. Then the item column, just set.
Wider and taller.
So it's wider and taller. Then the item column, just set a keyframe for the left, but keep it 0.
Now the background.
Set a keyframe for the background color, and then the text description. We're going to show it.
Okay, it's been 1 hour. I think we will close this chapter and then stop the stream.
Awesome. We have 3 different states. So now we can open the state machine.
We have 3 different states. And now we can open the state machine. Yeah, cool. Let's do that.
And we can transition between them. So I'm going to set it up so that we enter to unhover. and that we can transition back and forth between unhover and hover.
We do enter in Unhover, then we put hover and transition back and forth. Okay.
And before I link these states to click, let me show you how to implement this logic now. The first thing we need is a ViewModel property to control the conditions. So go into your data panel and give item ViewModel a Boolean.
A Boolean. Okay. And now we have this little, where is the little bird? There is no, yes, the little bird is here. Source, target, transition, plus if Boolean property. Okay, let's follow the tutorial.
And I'll call it hover. I've selected a Boolean.
Yeah, let's call it hover. So if hover is true, what? I lost my, yeah. If bind relative converter no equals
because a Boolean only has false or true. And when you're going back and forth between two different states, a Boolean is all you really need. So highlight both of your transitions and go down here to create a condition.
Oh, I need both. Okay. Let's start over. If hover.
And we can say if hover is true, then we go from unhover to hover. And if
It's true. Oh, true. Okay. We go from hover to hover. Okay.
it's false, then we go from hover to unhover. So now if I press play, we can see over here.
And we can. Okay. That's it. So if I press play, no, it's not working.
Here that hover is false, but if I change it to true, to unhover, and go in, only has, it is a ViewModel property, ViewModel, a Boolean. And I'll call it hover. I've selected a Boolean because a Boolean only has false or true. And when you're going back and forth between two different states, a Boolean is all you really need. So highlight both of your transitions and go down here to create a condition. And we can say if hover is true, then we go from unhover to hover.
Transitions. Two transitions. If hover is true, we go from unhover to hover. So I think this is correct. And now, if hover is false, we go to hover. Okay, so why is it not working?
And if it's false, then we go from hover to unhover. So now if I press play, we can see over here that hover is false, but if I change it to true, then we transition and activate that state. And we can go back.
Oh, I was naively thinking that we could have it interactive, but apparently we need to change, sorry. Yeah, okay, we need to change it in the data. So This actually works. Okay, nice.
Back and forth.
So we can notice that instead of the true false drop down, we have a much more handy checkbox. So I stop playing. I don't have anything bound. Okay, so really playing is allowing us to have access to live data, when not playing gives us access to everything we have in store, so to speak.
I can even check it on and off over here in this specific instance, but I don't want to have to check a box off.
Yeah, it works because this is the correct one.
And on. I want to be able to hover and unhover to activate that Boolean. How do we do that? Well,
Yeah.
we need to listen for mouse movements.
Oh.
So if you create two listeners, I'll call one enter and one exit. In enter, we're going to select a target in our hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and click. And we can select the item column as our target. And we're going to say if the pointer enters the item column, then set hover to true. And in the case of exit, we'll select the target item column, and we'll say if the pointer exits item column, then set hover to false. So now, when we press play, hover, unhover.
Awesome. Let's see if I can do it. Was it an event?
And in the case of exit, and we can select key exit in enter, unhover to activate that Boolean.
So listeners, where are you, listeners? I don't see no listeners. Where are you, listeners?
How do we do that? We can go back and forth from hover through, then we transition and activate that state. And we can go back and forth.
Okay, so listeners input, we have console here. Changes, what are changes, problems, console, testing, no. So I was thinking that maybe we have listeners here as well, but no. So where do they live now that they've changed the UI? Huh. Script, event, born, event. Is a listener an event? Property group, effect group, event, joystick. Right.
I can even check it on hover is true, unhover. We transition and activate that state. And we can go back and forth. I can even check it on and off over here in this specific instance. But I don't want to have to check a box off and on. I want to be able to hover and unhover to activate that Boolean. How do we do that? Well, we need to listen for mouse movements. So if you create two listeners,
So he's inside of the state machine. This is slightly frustrating. Slightly. Listener action script. Right. No. This is not what we're looking for. Where the heck have listener moved? Yeah. Okay, that's still the old UI, so right click. Ah, listeners. Oh, okay. They are hidden inside of the state machine. Okay. At least we found them. So now I think I forgot everything. It was about some focus target, I think. Let's roll with that. Focus target, select. So this, I don't remember if it's probably in the hierarchy. You know what? Before doing
check
stupid shit, let's just
from unhover to hover. I want to be able to hover and unhover to activate.
Okay, so we struggled to find the listener location, right? It was nested inside of the state machine, which was not obvious to me, but at least we can tell that we can say that they did the right choice to nest that inside of here instead of having this really, really weird UI elements where you have vertical thing going on here. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Anyways.
Activate that Boolean. How do we do that? Well, two listeners. I'll call one enter and one exit.
So he creates
In
listeners out of the blue
for mouse movements. So if you create two listeners, I'll call one enter and one exit.
and it creates
in enter,
targets
we're going to
here, but as now we have the possibility to already create something a little more complex. So I think it's really focus target, but let's just try input change, see what it looks like. No, it's also. Let's keep focus target. I think this is the correct one. So we create 1 and 2, and what was it? It was
select a target.
enter exit, yes. Enter exit. So what I didn't remember is what element, what level of the hierarchy it shows to bind the target to.
Target in our hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and click, and we can select the.
Why command 1 and click? Why? Sorry. I don't like when in a tutorial someone tells me to do something but doesn't explain why. Did he explain?
Exit. In enter, we're going to select a target in our hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and click, and we can select the.
I really don't understand why it's necessary to do Control 1 and click in this setup, but let's roll with it.
Item column as our target.
Okay.
And we're going to say if the pointer enters the item. column, then set.
Oh. What? Why do I need to do that again?
Hover to true. And in the case of exit, we'll select the target item column, and we'll say if the pointer exits item column, then set hover to false.
What the fuck? Where is the Zen for me? Hmm? Do I need to Control 1? I don't get it. Okay, maybe we don't need to do it anymore because we did it by choosing a focus target. Let's try it. No, we need to do some setting. So freaking annoying. Yeah, no, I know that when I click there, everything disappears. So what the heck? If I pin that input change. Okay, I needed to add something to the stack for it to do anything. And now I suppose I was, no, okay, so. And fire, select input. Select what input? What are you talking about?
So now, when we press play, the pointer exits item column, then set hover to false. So now, when we press play, hover, unhover.
Okay, maybe I'm stupid, but I really don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, ViewModel change. That was the property we need to add. And I added instead something focus target, I think. No. What did I add? Input change? Yeah, I added input change, but inputs are deprecated apparently. So this is ViewModel change and set hover to, and it was exit, so it's over to false. And right here, I need to add a ViewModel change and set hover to true. And now I press play and it doesn't work. Did I bind my sheet correctly? Item colon, pointer enters, pointer enters. Focus is target. Input change. Align target, focus target, report event scripted action. Input change, align target, focus target. This is focus target, I think. Okay, I'm starting to get a little annoyed, as you might probably see. What to do?
And if we go into our Assets panel, we can drag in our 3 sounds.
No, we won't do
And
that.
Item column, then exit, hover to, then set if the, and we can select the item column. We're going to
Maybe this is this.
call 1, enter. So if you create 2 listeners, I'll call 1, enter, and 1, exit. In enter, we're going to select a target in our hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and click.
So command 1 and click. We'll select something in our hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and click. Click where?
And we can hierarchy to listen to. So command 1 and.
Oh, command 1. It's because command 1 brings us to the hierarchy. Okay, now I get it.
Click. And we can select the item column
And click
as our target. And we're going to say if the.
So it's binding enter.
The pointer enters the item column, then set, hover to true.
Then set over. Oh. Okay. Let's start over. Let's start over and add a new listener. And this listener is a ViewModel change. Okay, so I was under the false assumption that I needed to select the focus target listener. But I think I actually needed to use the ViewModel change 1. So we will do the enter. And that's the fact that I had another focus target in the stack of the listener made it so that it didn't work. I hope this is the explanation and that I can make it work now that I think I understand. So now you exit and you set hover to false when I exit item colon. No, not when pointer enters, when pointer exits. And you are when pointer enters. Cross fingers. Go to the state machine. Play. No, why? Why are you so mean to me, Rive? What did I do to you? To you? Oh, I think I didn't bind this one. Maybe that's the reason. No. It's still not bound, so... Oh, it's... No, it's not bound. It's me that didn't bind it correctly. It's still not working. Huh. Let's double check our values. So when exiting, hover value to false. When pointer exits on item column. Okay. Hover value to false too. Still not working. Oh, okay. It was just me not being good enough to make it work. I don't know. At least now it does work. I struggled a little bit because, yeah, this seems a bit complicated to my poor little After Effects brain, but I get it. I think I do. And I'm pretty happy to see this little helmet moving. Okay, so I think this is a long enough live session. It's been, I don't know. I don't know how it's been. It's been interesting for me, a bit funny, and also a bit frustrating. And I think that's pretty much always the case with these Rive lives. But yeah, hopefully I will get more acquainted with this piece of software and I will use it in my work someday. I already have plans of using it down the line. For instance, I'm in charge of making the website of one of my music associations, of one of my music bands. I play in a maracatu band that is called Ojuoba, and we are remaking the visuals. And so I designed the new logo, and I will be handling the website because now that vibe coding is a thing, I made several websites thanks to Claude, even if I don't know much about web design. And I took some confidence and said that I could do it. Anyways, in the association, nobody else was willing to take the subject. So yeah, that's also why I did it. And probably we can use Rive to do some cool animations. That will require for us to move to the point where we can actually have the Rive file running in an engine. I don't know exactly, probably Node or something. This is still very fuzzy to me at the moment, but yeah, this is something that will probably happen at some point this year, and hopefully it won't take us as long as going through this tutorial did, but let's be frank, it will be probably way much more, way worse than that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.